Greetings there, my fellow cartographers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. Episode 12, Exploring the Heights and the Coast. I'm not actually trying to move us anywhere. I just wanted to do a clan call. So, first things first, let's put a bed down. I should have had them make beds, too. I hadn't thought of that at the time. Ending expedition. And let's see what's up with our mutations. So, lower body strength, jump distance increased. We got anabolism water, so walking in shallow water requires less energy. Nutrient absorption, more energy is gained per food portion. Xenobiotic metabolism, elements used to fight venom poisonings are more effective. Xenobiotic metabolism, again, elements used to eliminate food poisoning are more effective. Echoic memory, it is possible to remember the position of one or more living beings. Orientation, it is possible to remember the position of one more specific location. Social confidence, a call to gather all clan members now has a wider range. Endorphins efficiency, having full protection against injuries require fewer items with mending properties. Sleep healing efficiency, healing virtue. The healing virtues of sleeping in a sleeping spot are increased. I wish I had that in real life. Oh man. Manual dexterity, fewer hits are required to successfully craft items using a tool. Determination, less dopamine is needed when responding to a threat. And then the other two are genetic mutations that will be lost. I know we're going to lose them because the members in that generation aren't worth evolving. They're the current babies. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. If we can get to another meteorite site with our current babies, then they might not be a lost generation. But currently, only 2 of 6 of them have mutations, so they wouldn't be worth locking in. Additionally, where the hell are we? Is something I'm going to want to answer. So I'm going to switch to this male and have him scoop up some children, because I might as well get as much bang for my buck and learning as I can. Yo, where's another... Oh, there they are. Tell them all to go get a stick. Tell them all to switch hands. Tell them all to strip the branches off of said dead branch to make stick. Tell them all to grab stones. And then tell them all to make pointy stick. Listen to that lovely tool making. Oh, baby. I like that. All right. So we are here, which is the Great Lake Under the Falls Oasis. So Great Lake Under the Falls Oasis is 21 on the map. And I'm going to mark it down as explored, and then I'm also going to modify the home layer to tell you where it is. So here, the current red circle is where we live. For reference, 42, which is the circle closer to the meteorite, 42 is not. So here, let me, in order so that you know what I'm referencing here. 42 is the one I just circled in red. What I just circled in red is not an oasis. It's not a settlement. And then 40, which I'm circling now, is also not an oasis, so shouldn't be settled. And the reason I mention this is it would be good if I lived closer to the next meteorite, but also 26, which I just circled, is not a good place to settle either. It's not an oasis. And then 27, which I just circled now, is not an oasis, so it's not good to live in. My point is, if we want to make, and the same is true of 43, that is also not a meaningful, good place to live. So my larger point is, the next oasis for us, the next place to move to, would be maybe 28. But if we wanted to go to 28, so that we could be closer, in quotes, to a meteorite, it makes a lot more sense for us to discover the zones to the east. And by that, I mean discover that stuff. Because if we move away from that stuff, it will just be a lot more effortful to discover it later on. So, what I would like to do at this point is to, and I know I don't have a lot of time left in the stream, I'm going to go a little over time, is start to discover the stuff that I will effectively leave behind once we move again. So we want to discover our surroundings. Let's see how quick I can do some of that. Also, what are you doing, dude? Just, yeah, we want to go west. And then in the process, potentially, find a rock. So, we want to explore the west and search for precious. Precious. Thought I heard something. Trying to smell it out. Yeah, there you are. Stinky butt. Can't hide from me. Although to be fair, I'm gonna guess, because I know like fox pee and wolf pee is pretty pungent for territorial marking reasons, and I would assume a lot of the big cats that are territorial have similarly stinky pee for territory marking reasons. But I know, like, I live around areas that have Christmas tree farms, And it's somewhat common for Christmas tree farms to spray fox pee on their trees. So if you end up stealing them and the fox pee thaws out, you wreck the smell of your own home as a theft prevention measure, which is hilarious. What? I don't even know it just threatened me. Definitely feeling a little bit faster. Another big thing which happens as a result of mutations and evolutions is just being able to eat less and eat more efficiently. So that fulfilling your own, like, needs is not so labor intensive. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really is. And then also, the amount of dopamine that I'm losing as a result of being in somewhere scary. Like, before, I would have to just fully, like, panic search everywhere around me in order to rationalize my environment. But now, I mean, I don't have infinite leeway, but I have a lot more leeway than I did before. With that said, I'm like running out of things to look at. Almost all the way there. Come on. What's one? Oh, there we go. That's how it's done. Pound chest like Kong. You can also smell and listen. Yeah, I just find it easier to do it by sight. So this point of interest is the funneling arch. The funneling arch is, let me open up the map. That is 20 on the map, which is exactly where it, oops, wrong color. Exactly where I intended to go. So we are filling out some of the, like, backdrop that I would explore away from if I just kept going. Friend of yours used pee on his car wheels to prevent dogs from peeing on them. I think the problem with that is, unless it's a predator's pee, I know a lot of dogs that will just, like, pee on things that other dogs have peed on, you know, like the fire hydrant syndrome. So sometimes marking things with pee only is going to have other things pee on it even more, which then renders the prevention completely ineffective. Yeah, I see you. I'm not... Roaring at me is not gonna allow you to sneak up on me. Dumb kitty. Did you give up on me already? Sir, I'm insulted. Now, it is a little freaky to be in a panic situation like me, that I am in now, knowing that I just had a big cat try to jump me. It is a little terrifying. Because it's like, oh no, this isn't a psychological threat. This is an actual one. Alright, new location. We've got Jungle, Head of Stone Oasis. Head on, Head of Stone. Okay, so that would be 18. So 18 on the map. Cleared. So there's only 3 spots on the west that have yet to be searched. And, so one is way the hell up there. And as I get elevation, I might, subsequently get a better perspective as to where the remainder are. Yo, come on, grab that. Oh my god, dude. You're making me look like an idiot. No, don't swing. Okay, whatever. I'm hitting the right key to climb. He just won't climb. Fine, I guess it's a swing vine. Now, there are caves, and there's, without spoiling anything, there is definitely things to discover inside of caves. But for at least right now, I'm more interested in going to fulfill the rest of the points of interest than to go spelunking. All the rocks around me look like they have pretty rough overhangs, so I don't think I'm going to be able to scale them without burning my life. This might have been a bit of a mistake. I think what I'm going to do is... Oh. No, kitty. Sorry, kitty. Climb this tree, is what I was going to say. Because this tree looks like it gets me most of the way up. Man, I really need to kill that thing. It's been stalking me for a while now. So from this position, you can see there's another unknown point of interest there and one there. And those are the last 3 in this region. And I'm going for whatever reason, the absolute highest point I could first. At least it'll be quicker to do the last 2. But I might need to make an impromptu bed. No, no. Dude, don't. Not all the way down. Oh my god. What the hell are you doing, man? I didn't hit a button. He just decided to just full send it. I had to, like, frantically grab ledge. Stop him from just going, all the way down. Alright. all the food I needed. Okay, don't do that again, my guy. No, what the heck? All right, there's something wrong with that ledge. Ledge is cursed. I'll try to avoid it. Much better. Yeah, it's like the rock didn't have, like, the proper physics to be grabbed. Or something. Now, if you're wondering about the local points of interest, 19 is called the Highland Peak. And, I only mention that to give you a hint as to where I might be headed to. But, given how my character here is getting the sleepies, and there happens to be some ferns here? No, you piss off. Go away, or I'm eating snake tonight. I'm gonna take a quick pit stop. I thought there'd be enough. Did I pile them up correctly? I locked in building, right? Maybe I didn't. Pretty sure I did. So there's nothing that stops you from just, like, building beds anywhere to sleep, but, like, you probably shouldn't sleep. You shouldn't settle somewhere that isn't, like, an oasis for a bunch of different reasons. One, the oases have food, water, shelter, protection from the elements, kind of baked into the fact that they're an oasis. And then two, they typically have fewer predators, which, you know, is a thing, because I had to dodge in my sleep, which is, like, not quite as fun as it sounds. So as I was literally just explaining, oases are safer for a reason. Rude. But I did preempt that situation by picking up a bunch of the evasive action bonuses in my last generation jump, so I had the skills to dodge that. If I didn't pick up all those, like, timed evasive action abilities in the last generation lock, I might have just gotten murdered there. Or eaten. So this cot should be good enough for my, like, kcals for the day, but I will probably need to find a source of water. Because I'm sure my hydration needs are unmet. Can you sleep without making a sleeping spot? Not as far as I know. I forget actually what happens when you just, like, ignore your sleep for too long. You might just pass out. I'm not 100% sure on that, actually. If someone in chat knows, feel free to correct me. God, we were hungry. Okay. Well, stamina and energy just about full up. Meaning I probably wasn't that thirsty. Because we have just about a full energy and stamina bar. And this, I would say, is one of the points hardest to get to, just because it's like a vertical mile straight up in the air. I feel like this point only really exists to exemplify how absolutely ridiculously vertical some of the areas can be. Because, whoops, I should not have looked down. I am so freaking far away from the the standard canopy level. Please don't find any slippery rocks. No. Don't fall. And what do we have here? Okay. In my defense, I kind of knew it was here, but... What is this? It's a precious stone! Carrying a precious stone gives courage when in the fear of the unknown. Less dopamine is needed. Some precious stones can also form couples and convince an outsider to join your clan. Ishani rock. It was emerald. And we are at the Highland Peak. So the Highland Peak is 19 on the map. So here, 19's been crossed off. So now I already have my precious stone. Now, unlike the meteorites, the precious stone, like, you should keep them. They're kind of finite, and you can lose them, so don't lose them if you can help it. But I'd like to fill out the remaining unknown zones around the west before I end the stream. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And luckily, I've been eating lots of bone hurty juice leaves, the cot leaves. So this here, pretty obviously, is the Great Lake zone, which is the 17 one, the one that's out in the water. And also, I want to get off this cliff so, like, the big old nasty birds don't come and eat me. But down is so much faster than up. And then the last zone will be over there. Which is a zone we'll find in a minute. And you can see the stone was like kind of blinking or whatever. That indicates it was keeping me brave. Alright, the scary zone has been reached, so let's go. This gives you a pretty good idea of how effective the precious stone is. Oh. Where my dopamine levels really didn't take much of a dip at all. During that, fear of the unknown. I wonder if we're going to find new critters for the first time. No? So we really only have seen, like, warthogs, crocs, and... Well, that's not true. Come on, how much closer do you really want me to be? Just give it to me already. Fine. For science. The croc would like me closer? Yeah, well, my freaking lifespan is gonna take a nosedive if I have to swim all the way there. Alright, there we go. Landmark discovery, the Great Lake. And that is 17. That's the one way out in the water. So, Done. So now there's one left to my south, which is the last thing I'm going to do on stream. So I'm really going well over time, but that would be right here. Let's catch a breath. And head over to that last spot. Hey, it's a new animal. That's what I was looking for. I did not mean to do that. Hippopotamus! Very territorial and not friendly at all. And they are kind of camping my precious stone, so I want that stone back. Oh, come on. Up, my guy. Also, my dopamine's rather low, so eating some leaves to make myself feel better. Alright, I don't care about the stick. The stone is the what cannot be replaced. There we go, I got the stone. Now, if I can get the stick, that'd be great, but... Oh, great, now there's a tiger here, too. Never mind, I'm just... Oh, you know what? One tiger down! Well, not down, but definitely not happy either. This is my stick. There is many like it, but this one is mine. Yeah, my neuronal energy, if you see the circle on the bottom right, is like full, because I've been exploring with this individual for a long time, so his brain is like ready to do a lot of learning. Come on! That's ridiculous. I absolutely... No. Piss all the way hell off. Hippos, as you can see, much like crocodiles, are just like obnoxious. Oh, can you, how good are you at climbing down here? Not great. Okay, cool. So, yeah, hippos might be herbivores, but I like to think of them as terravores, where they feed on the terror of others around them. Ooh la la. New food. Yeah, hippos don't usually let things live. No kidding. So we got elderberries. I have not been checking to see if they're safe. Get bent, loser. Oh! Lethal one-shot! Yeah! Bye-bye, Diego! Your bloodline ends here. Yo, food chain, what's up? That's a first. I need to get a little closer to this. Seriously? Even closer? And this is where I'm going to interact with a new critter, if you're wondering. No, I don't want to memorize it. I want to identify it. No, discover. There we go. Otters. Mousine African otter. And as a result, come on. No, don't alter the thing. What are you doing? Look up. As a result, this, surprising to no one, is called the Otter Den. Or the Otter's Den. And there we have it. I have now discovered the entire West. Done. So what I want to do now is head that way. Back home. Ideally with, like, maybe a weapon in my hand. Now, if I was really lucky, I would have a panic event right now, and it would send me home through hysterics. But, like, I don't think I'm going to get that lucky. Also, it would be kind of hard to do, because I'm holding a precious stone, which means my bravery is a bit too high. Yes, I'm a monkey that had a journey to the west. Mm-hmm. And survived it. I dodged hippos and tigers, and I climbed to the throat of the world and met Parthenax. Alright. One of those... that was 2 truths and a lie. You can figure out which one was the lie. Uh-oh. I'm gonna be very sneaky. Pick it up, pick it up. I'll just have to settle on stick. Funny to think about, like, in real life, big cats sleep for like 20 to 22 hours a day. And like, mostly, a lot of the time, it's the females that hunt and the males don't even. In this game, like, they make the cats not that level of lazy, but they're also, you'll see a lot of lazy cats, which I find is accurate. Like, a lot of video games, they'll have it so that, like, predators always want meat all the time. But, like, in nature, predators almost always do nothing. And most of what they do is laze about because they're full of calories, and only rarely do they hunt. You know, especially if you're, like, a wolverine or whatever. Like, wolverines are known to just gorge themselves and then basically hibernate until they're hungry again. Where, like, on average, they do nothing but process the food that they had gorged upon. Wow, I'm really going well over time. I underestimated how long this would have taken me. Big monkey energy. I also have to be careful what's in my primary hand, because I don't want to have to drop my emerald. I don't want to have to drop... No, stop picking that up. Drop my emerald when I want to eat. Alright, now for the beeline back home. Yeah, most wild animals also fail at hunts, so it's silly to have a hunt that often. Yeah, there's also like hunts of desperation. Like I know just from watching nature channels, like animals like panthers will almost never hunt crocodiles unless they're, or jaguars, will almost never hunt crocodiles unless they're super desperate for food. Because fighting a croc generally is not safe. So they'll only do it when the alternative is like starvation. This game kind of gets that right, where like you often will not see the big cats go after crocs or hippos unless you kind of mess with them into doing it. Whereas like in this game, the cats will go after snakes and warthogs on a much higher regularity, because that would be part of their like normal food source. It's also why like dogs are very resistant to snake venom, because wolves ate snakes, and as an evolutionary advantage, they formed resiliency towards most of the snake venoms that you'd see in normal wolf ranges, and dogs kept that immunity. So like pound for pound, dogs are like 5 times more resilient to snake venom than humans are. So if a dog gets bit by like a copperhead or a cottonmouth, it's generally speaking, unless it's a really small dog that doesn't have a lot of body weight, far less of a life-threatening event than it would. I mean, not that copperheads would be the life-threatening to humans, but you know, dogs and wolves are just a lot more resilient to that stuff than us humans are, that didn't have to evolve to survive that encounter. Oh boy. Well, luckily for me, my body was full of the bone hurdy juice resistance, and I made it back safe and sound. I actually strutted into our home like a boss. So one last thing I want to say before I end the stream is your precious stones. If I evolved and we formed a new settlement somewhere else, if I'm not mistaken, the precious stone that I leave here will still be here. There's persistence. The beds that I build here will still be here. There's persistence like that. You know, or if I went, after this past evolution, I went back to the last place where I set up like 2 thorn walls, that stuff would still be there as well. But with that said, this is where I'm going to end for today. Thank you for tuning in to Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I am not, however, looking for feedback. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow ancestors.